Mother of our refuge, Shirley Maria, Cheer of Eve, Shirley Maria, joy of generation. Today, Uncle Ehab is with us today. He's going to talk to us about St. Mary. Father Uncle Ehab.
أبونا هنا تفضل يا أبونا. The Orthodox servants, they need to leave the occasion of the church. As we know, all of us, we're celebrating the fast of St. Mary. And Uncle Nagy, he asked me to give something today about St. Mary. I was talking Arabic Mass today about some point about St. Mary. Very important, we know we are a Copts, we love St. Mary very much. Why? Because she lived in Egypt 3.5 years. She eats from our food, she drinks from our water, she lived between us, she understands us very well. St. Mary, she went out for Palestine, 2 countries. One of them was Egypt. That most long time she stayed outside Palestine was Egypt, around 3.5 years. And second country, she went with Philippi when she made the miracle to melt the iron bar on the miracle of Saint Matthias. The prophecy of Isaiah 1:19 to say the God will come, ride a cloud. The prophecy, the cloud, and come quick to Egypt, and when the idols see St. Mary and Jesus Christ, the idol all fall down. The prophecy about Isaiah was the prophecy about St. Mary, because they said she very white like the cloud, she very pure like cloud, and she very light like the cloud. But Theophilus, number 23. He tried to know how the trip happened in Egypt and where St. Mary appeared and where St. Mary stayed and what miracle she done. So St. Mary appeared to him, and all his books, these books we found in the monastery of Al-Mahada. And the Amba Aurorius, the late one, he wrote a big book about the trip of St. Mary in Egypt and where she stayed and how long every area she stayed and what miracle she done. But Theophilus, St. Mary, she appeared to him and she told about her journey to all Egypt around. Number one, they said was 3 ways you can reach Palestine to Egypt. The 3 known way, definitely she didn't take this way. She took different way, and the angel of the Lord will guide her. She need a strong donkey to ride because it was big trip, maybe kind of close to 3 months. So from where she bought this donkey, she sold the gold, come as a present from the 3 wise men, and she bought the donkey so she can start her trip. How old was Jesus Christ in that time? They said about 2 years. Why we have to say this? Because the icon, some of the picture show Jesus was very small baby when the wise men worship him. This is not correct because he was nearly about 2 years. Because the time when the wise man sees a star and they come until Palestine to worship him, they take them longer time. And if you learn in the book of Luke, you found Herod, he killed the baby or the kid from 2 years to down to make sure he killed him. We as an Egyptian, we love St. Mary very much. The Copt, you found all the Copt, you found all the church after St. Mary name. More than half the church of all Coptic Orthodox church, they're named after St. Mary. We speak about 5 points about St. Mary. Number 1, Azra Nadira, or what we call it rare virgin. What this means, never happened before. A virgin have a baby, and we believe she was a virgin before she got Jesus Christ. And after she got Jesus Christ, she was a virgin. Never happened. And the book of Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 44, they said, this door should be closed, and only one can go through, who is Jesus Christ, and this door will be still closed, and as we know in the prophecy. She was really Azra Nadira. Never happened before. Any girl, we call her virgin, but Sam Mary, when we speak in Arabic, we put, Alif Lam, Al-Virgin or Al-Azra, عشان the only one هي Sam Mary. One of the story, في bishop اسمه Bishop Basilius. He was a bishop of Luxor on that time. He was visiting his diocese. One of the girl he visited, this girl, she was not talking at all. He feels sorry for her. So what he done? He went to his diocese and started to pray and pray and pray for her. The Sam Mary appeared to this girl at night, and she told her, the bishop pray for you, and I bring you to talk now. And she started talk. This bishop was very humble person, blessed person. Every diocese or every area he visits, people want him to pray for them. The little governor of the village, he's a not Christian. He asked him to come his home to pray for him. He said, no problem, I come. He come and they pray for him. He started spraying some water in his house, left, right. The area they have the animal inside, they told him, we need you to pray this too. He was praying, he found he hit something. He said, what is this? Was a cow, dead cow. They wanted to take it out. They said, this dead cow, bishop, and we were going to get it out. We need some people to come and help us to lift it. He prayed on the water and he sprinkled it on the cow stand up and life again. So number one, she rare virgin. Number two, she was vigilant virgin, Azra Sahira. She went to the altar when she was 3 years old. She left the altar when she was 12 years old. 9 years she was praying, she was praising God. She was reading on the Torah, Old Testament. Even if you remember her praising after the angel appeared to her, she would take a small part from a lot of books in the Old Testament. That means to show she was knowing a lot of parts of the Old Testament by heart. Not even this, she was fasting all day and they gave all her food to the poor, until even the angels, they used to give her food, the one instead of give it to people. And one of the miracles happened too, because she vigilant virgin. One lady, we call her, she had a daughter, her name Sana, about 10 years old. She was playing, she jumped very high, she fell down, and she was heavy bleeding. She took her to the St. Mary hospital next to the St. Mary in the Tune church, and she went to the doctor. She told her, doctor, my daughter bleeding, she nearly died. He checked her blood, he found, it's O, the type of blood. He told her, try to get us some of the blood. We have to transfer her blood because she lost a lot of blood. What happened? The lady, she started looking, she can't find any blood. She went and to the picture of St. Mary appeared in the tomb. You found in front of the small church when you go in the picture, and she was hitting the glass and she said, St. Mary, please try to help me. St. Mary, please try to help me. I'm not going to let it go. If you're not going to help my daughter, I broke the glass. And people watching, and people, they can't do anything. Until one lady, she told her, come, the doctor looking for you. She went and she come back to the doctor, what happened? My daughter died. He said, no, I tell you something happened strange. I went to look for some blood for your daughter. I come back, I smell the innocence in her room, and I found the blood stop, and your daughter fine now. The lady, she told her, go say thank you to St. Mary, get some candle and the lighting in front of her picture. She took some candle to lighting in front of her picture. Every time she tried to lighting the candle doesn't want to light. She surprised what happened. Her daughter, he said, Mom, St. Mary come and heal me. And she said, I'm upset from your mom because she tried to break the glass. She abolished the St. Mary and she was crying, and after this she put the candle back and the candle started lighting again. So number one, Azra real version, Azra Nadira. Number two, vigilant version, Azra Tahira. Number three, pure virgins. Pure virgins, her purity. We call her the mother of the holy. And a lot of people, all right, so don't worry about this, the devil won't interrupt us, don't worry. A lot of people, all the people, special monastery for nunnery or nun, they call it Saint Mary, because she intercedes for the people, pure people and the purity. One lady, her name Ophomia in England, diocese, and she was very pretty, and she said, I want to be pure like you, Saint Mary. I doesn't want to marry, and I live my life without marriage like you was, Saint Mary. But the devil envy her. He asked someone of the rich people to try to marry her. He went to her father and tried to marry her. Her father was happy. He's a very rich person. And his daughter, because she know, because her purity, he wanted to marry her. She got the knife and she cut her nose and she cut her lips. Her dad saw her, she done this, he was very angry from her and hit her hard. And he gave her to someone, treat her very bad as a slave. She was working hard and every day they slap her, every day they punish her for 7 years. One night was the Christmas night, she escaped from him and she went to the area they grow the animal and started to pray to God. The man was looking for her, he can't see her to punish her more. He found all this area full of light, he thought it's a fire inside. He went inside and he looked, he found Saint Mary appear to her and she tell her, I will heal you, they will never happen to you, and this is the end of the 7 years. The man, he saw what happened, he was apologized to her dad was apologized, and they built a small house for her to live as a nun and gather some people with her. So number one, real version, Azra Nadira. Number two, vigilant version, Azra Tahira. Number three, the pure version, Azra Tahira. Number four, able version, Azra Qadira. She makes a lot of miracles, and she makes the hard miracle. It was written in the newspaper, one specialist who was a Muslim. He wrote in the newspaper, imagine in Egypt, he wrote in the newspaper, number one, I'm not believing in miracle. He said, I'm a specialist, everything I take by mind. But this one, I have to write and I tell you what happened. We are 4 or 5 people, all of us specialists, some of us Christian, some of us Muslim. What happened with us, they said, a mother bring her little daughter 5 years old. She was bleeding and she was thinking, blood from inside her. So she told the specialist, we need you to check. He said, I put endoscopy, what do you call it? Endoscopy, to check what happened. He found inside here, it's a lump, and they take example and they send this lump to check. He said, after 2-3 days, the result to come, and there was one of the severe cancer cells. He said, it's the death rate, 100%. 100% death rate. So what we did, we sent her to do some chemotherapy. And after the chemotherapy, we will see what happens. He sent her to do chemotherapy. He said, after 3 weeks, her dad and the mom and the daughter come back. Her dad told the specialist, the Muslim man, listen, we start to pray and pray. Saint Mary appeared to my daughter and told his daughter was her name Mary too. She told her, because your name like my name, I will heal you. But I want you to go to the monastery of Saint Mina and sleep there, and I do the operation for you there. The little girl, she said, Saint Mary, come to me, and she took something small like little balloon and some black inside. And the doctor said, listen, I'm not believing in miracle. I have to check again, and I take test again to believe or not. So he said, we're coming from out of the office to go to do the operation for her again. We give her anesthetic and she sleep. And another doctor talked to him. He said, what do you think about her? He said, she come from a religious family. Maybe she would have a dream, but I'm sure when we check the cancer, we found it's getting worse. Definitely, because that's one of the severe ones. They checked the area, they took the example of the cancer, they found disappeared only little bit left. They took little bit example, they sent it to another man to pathology to check what's happening. After 2-3 days, he brings the result, and he called the specialist. He said, what happened? He said, the parents of the girl told me 1, 2, 3, 4. And the little girl, she said, was family took from him something like little balloon with black inside. The pathology specialist, they said, yes, this cancer looks like this exactly, and we can't find any cancer on the girl. The specialist, they said, all right, we're not going to talk about this, we're not going to write it until 1 year, so we make sure it's a miracle, not something, They wait for 3 years, and he said, after 3 years now, the girl, she clear 100%, nothing with her at all, that's why we write the miracle. So the miracle, it's something to stop the mind out of mind. You can't talk about mind and the miracle. What type of mind can I see to put mud in someone's eye and he cannot see? If you put mud in someone's eye, he cannot be blind. What mind can I talk about 5 bread and 2 fish, or 5 loaves and 2 fish can feed 5,000? So the miracle, something you stop your mind, you stop your brain, something over the mind. So we talk about real virgin, Adra Nadira. Number 2, we talk about vigilant virgin, Adra Tahira. Number 3, pure virgin, Adra Tahira. Number 4, able virgin, Adra Qadira. And last one, victorious virgin, Adra Nasira. Adra Nasira, we know, or Adra Nasira, we know Saint Mary, she suffered a lot. Number 1, especially even Joseph, when he found her start get pregnant, he wanted to let her go. Even people look to her with a virgin on the temple all the time, and after they found her pregnant, see how people looks to her, how people was talking about her. So this one, she treated not fully even until the cross, and after the cross, all this one, even when she died. They try to bury her, people, they want to stop the coffin until the person, his hand is stuck to the coffin. One saint, his name, John the Damascus. He has a very icon, very famous, with 3 hands inside the icon. What's the story about these 3 hands? He was looking after the financial of the Islamic country, Islamic people on that time in Damascus. So when they start, Constantine, a king, his name Leon, he started, was against any icon. He said, all the church have to take the icon of the church. Everyone have to take icon. We not worship statue, we not worship picture, we worship only God. So he was in that time, his name Mansur, and he wasn't a monk yet. He started to write to the king. He said, what you writing, what you saying, it's wrong. We not worship the icon, we respect the picture of the icon because they hear us and they listen to us and we intercede through them. He don't like, how dare you tell me I am the king? So he copied his letter, get someone writing very good writing, he copied his letter and sent it to his king, the Muslim one, and he said, in his letter, I tell you, I can give you Damascus without any war and I can help you. So the Muslim king, he think he betray him. He started to call him and tell him, listen, you the one who wrote the letter? He said, not me. He said, but the same writing. He said, the same writing, but I didn't write anything. Because the king, he think he betray him, he cut his hand on the middle of city and he put it up on the middle of city. He said, that's the reward if someone betrays the king. This man at night, he asked the king, he wanted his hand back. They give him his hand back. He put in the front of the picture of Saint Mary and started to pray with tears to Saint Mary, tell her, please, make a miracle, put my hand back so these people do know I am innocent and I didn't do anything. For the bleeding of his hand, for the tears and the prayer, he was slept. Saint Mary, she put his hand back, but there's a big mark red around his wrist. So people went to the king the next day and tell him this, he paid money to the people, they didn't cut his hand. The king, he called him, he said, show me your hand. He found the mark, he said, which doctor he fixed your hand back? He started telling him about the miracle of Saint Mary, and he told him that this governor, the Muslim one, he treated him unlawfully. He wanted to restore him back to his position. He said, no, after this I want to dedicate my life to God. He went and he became monk, and his name ordained as the Bishop of Damascus, St. John of Damascus. And this icon, you found the only icon, they put 3 hands in the icon. The icon traveled from area to area until they end on one of the monastery in Greece. So the 3 hands, they call it the icon for Saint Mary with 3 hands. So Saint Mary, she able to make a lot of miracles. Saint Mary, she able to help a lot of people. Saint Mary, she has a special love in heart of all the Copts. If you are in Egypt now, any church after Saint Mary name, you find Mass in the morning, Vesper at night, every day Samgid, Wazakha, beautiful times زي كل سنة وانتم طيبين وسكونا صلاتكم و God bless us through the intercession of Saint Mary and her prayer. Amen. Glory be to God.